ice cream, some people like chips, some people like this, some people want to be married, some people don't want, some people want children, some people don't want. It's like, yeah, we all have like different likings. But I think you can go and ask anybody on this planet, do you want to suffer? Nobody would say yes. You ask them, do you want to be happy? Everybody would say yes. Or happy is a kind of funny word. Do you want to be well? Do you want to be healthy? Do you want to be free from depression and fear and anxiety and being confused? What do you think people would say? Of course they would say yes. And that's universal. You can go to Papua New Guinea and to New York. It's the same. And why is the world looking the way it looks? Why aren't we like the animals? You see, if you look at the cat, 500 years ago, catching a mouse, eating the mouse, it's still the same. Then you look at us, do we still eat our food like 500 years ago? Do we still eat the same food like 500 years ago? Do we live in the same houses like 500 years ago? Okay, cat maybe not such a good idea because cats also now have their food out of a tin. Yeah? The cats at home. But like I'm talking about wild lion or leopard or whatever. They still live in the same houses, they still eat the same food, they still hunt the same. But with the human intelligence, but also they don't want to suffer. Yeah? But they don't have the human intelligence to figure out how to make their life better, the same as we are. I'm not saying they have no intelligence, but it's very limited. Whereas human beings have this intelligence, but the problem is we try to make the world better, more comfortable, quicker, faster, healthier than not healthier. So we have very healthy food, at the same time we have junk food. You have these wonderful medicines who have lots of side effects. We pollute the planet, we destroy the planet, although we want to be comfortable and happy, and all for comfort. Now, if the comfort would give us what we want, meaning lasting happiness, then it would be worthwhile to destroy the planet. But does it? No. But we still do. We need air conditioning. We need this. We need that. We need plastic. We need this. Yeah. I just thought Kenya is total plastic forbidden. You pay huge amount of how to say? Fine. Like really, like thousands of whatever they have if you are importing plastic bags. But life is difficult without plastic. You will notice this when it's forbidden. Why we are drowning in plastic, because plastic is so, excuse me for the word, bloody handy. Yeah? So, we all think, oh, how wonderful, they forbid plastic. Yeah. If you still have your 5 plastic bags at home that you need, then it's fine. Then this is wonderful. There's no more plastic. But once those are gone, it will become a little bit more difficult. Then no more, electricity, and no more this, no more that. So we will suffer. Yeah. Okay. So we have this wish, wanting to be well and wanting to be free from suffering, and that wish is always there, but we kind of look in the wrong place. So the Buddha says you have to look inside, you have to cleanse your mind, and then you will be happy. And then so either one does it for oneself, or one says, okay, I want to become a Buddha in order to liberate all sentient beings. Yeah, and then one makes the promise to come back again and again and again and again. And in order to become a Buddha, as opposed to the Nirvana, is like 3.5 countless eons.
Wow.
And when you ask how long is an eon, you can't say it's so big we don't understand. They say you have a big mountain, and once every 100 years with the cloth you kind of strike the mountain, and when the mountain is worn away, the eon is still not finished. So this is why I say it's very short. Yeah. But also, you see, one says that our mind has been existing since beginningless time. There's no beginning, okay? So that means from now, if we go on this path, or even if we go on this path 20,000 years later, from now to enlightenment, as opposed to since beginningless times, is like a second. Again, if you put it into relation, so it seems very long. But we've been existing since beginningless times. So who cares that this is going to last so long? So then when you make that decision, you become what is called what? Huh? A Bodhisattva. Can you please, for the people who don't know what this is, take the word apart? What does it mean? Bodhi means... No? Means? Awakening. The sattva is the... Bodhi means awakening, or awaken. Sattva means being. And you generate or you train in what is called bodhicitta. Bodhicitta means mind. Like an attitude, I want to attain enlightenment as quickly as possible. Why? Because I want to benefit all sentient beings. How? Benefiting them, not just, of course, benefiting them as a social worker, as a psychologist, as a doctor, as an architect building houses, whatever. Of course that is benefiting people, but that is only benefiting them temporarily. But it's good, because in order for them to practice, they need to have a healthy body also. They need to have a house where they can live in, all this. But when we say benefit, then one means benefiting them, not just to make them temporarily happy, but benefiting them and making them lastingly happy. Okay, this is the attitude. This should become your automatic pilot. Meaning, you put your happiness to the side. Meaning, the happiness of others becomes more important. How does that sound? Huh? Difficult. Frightening. Yeah? Because we're so needy. Because our ego is so, but, goes, yeah, exactly. What? Are you crazy? What about me? So also this maybe, because you see, these teachings, they came from the East to the West. Now, in the East, people grow up with a clear understanding, the nature of my mind is clear. And it's this clarity, or it's pure, let's say like this, maybe better. This clarity is only covered, like the sky is covered by clouds. They grow up with the idea there is no separate self in here. So then, seeing that, going, trying to cherish this ego and making this ego happy, when they hear that this is the enemy, this is where the mistake is lying, they go, yeah, and for them it's okay. And they know that they are good people at the base. And they can never lose this goodness because they have what is called Buddha nature. Everybody has the nature as being totally pure, totally love, total compassion, total wisdom. But it's covered. So they grow up with that idea. Now whether it's true or not, I don't know. As Christians, we grow up with the idea, you're bad. And it's through the grace of God, if you believe in Him and in Jesus, that you follow and all this, then you become good. You'll be saved or liberated, something like that. I grew up non-religious, so I don't want to go too much into that. But this is what some Christians tell me, but you are bad, and it's only through the grace of God that you will become good. I don't know how it is in the Jewish tradition. Are you good or bad?
Bad.
Huh?
Bad.
No, see, again, this is either... I guess it depends what scriptures you're looking at, maybe. I'm not sure. Or which part in the Bible you're looking at. Hey, but you are the first people, and you this lady, which was called Eve, She ate the apple, didn't she? So that's where it all started.
It was the Wiccans.
Huh?
The Wiccans.
Yeah. Okay, so let's not go too much into religion because I really don't want to criticize it. But from psychologically speaking also, kind of, we grow up, you have to be somebody, you have to be an individual, you have to be good, you have to succeed in order to be happy. You have to be famous, you have to be rich, you have to be looking in a certain way, you have to have a certain shape of body, you have to have the right friends, you have gone to the right school, the right university and all that, then you will be happy, isn't it? If you just treat a toilet cleaner, I mean, how many kids are being taught when they are at school, why don't you become a toilet cleaner? You know, no big effort, you can't do big mistakes, it's very easy, it's very satisfying because the dirtier the toilet, the more satisfied you are when it's clean. I mean, I can see it, your faces that you're thinking, now she's gone totally crazy.
No, it's hard. I've been a toilet cleaner. It's a hard job. It's a difficult job.
Doesn't have to be. Doesn't have to be. It becomes difficult because you think it's a bad job.
No, I thought it was a very good. At
Huh?
the time, I enjoyed it very much. But
So
it
why
was maybe physically.
Huh?
Physically.
When you say enjoying, I'm talking about happiness. I'm talking about, you
I
know.
was very happy cleaning toilets.
Yeah, then, so there you go. So
I
if you have young children, teach them to become toilet cleaners. So
But it was a temporary job.
yeah, I mean, if a kid comes home from school and says, if Zohar comes home from school and says, you know, Mom, I think I'm going to be a toilet cleaner. What are you going to say? Great, you won't have that much responsibility, you will not make big mistakes, you will have good results because the toilet is clean. As Ayala says, physically it's a hard job, okay, but you'll be very happy. Would you be happy that he's choosing a job that he doesn't have much responsibility? No? See, and she's a Buddhist mother. Wow. Yeah. So like that. So this is what I'm just trying to point that out. This is what we are being taught, is that we have to have all these things in order, you know, to be somebody and all this. Yeah. So then for us, when we hear about this, that we have to put ourselves behind others' happiness and all this, it's very, very frightening. And then, because we're so ambitious, then we do too much and then we burn out. Yeah. Then we take it literally and we think we have to help everybody. Like, you know, as I just said now, somebody phoned me who has like a mental problem, and I said, look, I'm sorry, I don't know, you know. I have no experience in this. Also, I don't want to mess around with these things. It's very tricky. And I didn't feel guilty. Because why should I touch something that I have absolutely no qualities in doing this? Because working with somebody's mind who is not stable is like, excuse me, you know. It's like somebody has a stomachache. I said, okay, bring me a knife and let's see what's inside. At least there you can see, maybe you can take something out. But with somebody's mind, you cannot look, and especially when it's in such a bad state. Yeah. Okay, so it doesn't mean that you have to do all these things now. You have to go into training. And the first thing that we train is kind of seeing the benefit that we could have maybe in developing this mind, wanting, you know, having an attitude that whatever I do, may it benefit others. Already now, yeah? To see the benefit of it. The benefit for what? Now we need to know the benefit for what? The benefit to become famous, the benefit to become rich, the benefit to become beautiful. What? What is the benefit of having this mind?
Helping others, making the world better.
creating good, then what?
Feeling good.
Huh?
Feeling good.
We become happier. So that is the benefit. And we're not, less and less we will be under the control of these negative emotions. Yeah. So once you have decided that you want to go on this path, and we'll talk a little bit more about this tomorrow, because this is how this text is built up, that the first chapter only tells you about the benefit of generating bodhicitta. Because, as we said, this is difficult. Because our whole life we have been following our ego. Hey, what's good for me? Now, in most of the cases that is true, but in some cases it's not true. A parent can let, or grandmother, grandfather, okay, if I talk parents, then savtas and sabas are included. If you're a grandparent or a parent, the child comes first. If there's not enough dessert, who gets the dessert?
The child.
The child. It's no question. It's no question. Is it difficult?
No.
It's very easy. So the attitude when we have interest for somebody is already there. So we don't have to create the attitude. All we have to do is expand it. Expand it upon everybody. And then they give us different reasons why we should expand it on everybody. Now, of course, the Buddhist reason is because we have been existing since beginningless times. That means we have had contact with everybody, many, many times, and everybody has been helpful to us. Or everybody has been a mother to us. Yeah. And then again, when Westerners hear this, it's funny how all mothers love their daughters and sons very much. And it's very difficult for daughters and sons to really say, I love my mom so much, or my dad so much. Right? Isn't it? What do you think? Much easier for parents to love their children than the children to love their parents. So it's an interesting, but maybe we can discuss it tomorrow in discussion of why is that? Why, because it should be the other way around. I mean, the children get so much more from their parents. They get their education, clothes, food, entertainment, love, everything, for free. Why is that?
It's not about what you get, it's about what you give, maybe.
Yeah. This is what this is all about. That makes us happy. Yeah. But it's an interesting, I've never kind of asked this question, it's the first time it comes to my mind, how very natural it is for, it's quite rare that the mother says, no, I really hate my child. It happens, but it's very, 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 very rare. And then they're really disturbed. They're really not well. They're really suffering. But normal people, no matter what the kids do, they just love them. So maybe something biological, I'm not sure. But if it would be only biological, we wouldn't be able to love adopted children, for example. Or, your child could have been exchanged in the hospital. Unless you do a DNA test, you don't know if that's really your child. I saw a movie like this here in Israel when a child was exchanged. And that was a baby, swapped like that. But it's because your mind says, or your heart says, heart and mind, by the way, is the same thing. It's my child. And then there's this love coming up. So it's very good to have children, because then it shows us we are capable to love unconditionally. Of course you get angry at your children, but you never wish them to suffer. You're never happy when you see your children suffer. Maybe sometimes you can, when kind of they do something really stupid, and then for a while there's something that's not so happy in their life, and you can have a thought and think, oh, hopefully they learn from this. Yeah. But you're still not happy that they suffer. You would be much happier that they learn without having to suffer, isn't it? Yeah. So bodhicitta is He's kind of having this attitude that all beings should be happy and nobody should suffer for all sentient beings. Yeah, but it's a big thing. It's a very, very big thing. So it's an attitude. So of course you have to practice all the things that you practice also when what you want to attain nirvana, like getting out of existence. Yeah. You practice understanding your mind, you practice meditation, you practice understanding your actions, you practice especially understanding your negative emotions and applying antidotes, and you practice studying reality, like wisdom. But then also you go further by practicing what is called the 6 perfections. And that is the 6 perfections are the practices of a Bodhisattva. Somebody who has made the decision, I want to attain full awakening in order to benefit all sentient beings. When we say practice, it doesn't mean the actions. It says the training or the practice. And these 6 perfections are, can you help me? The first one is generosity.
More morality.
Huh?
Discipline.
I'm very hard on hearing also. You know, it's like old age, I tell you, it's like, can you speak really loud?
Discipline.
Discipline, ethical discipline, I prefer to call it ethics, because discipline people feel like, ooh, you know. Would you like to be disciplined? Do you see this as something really, yeah, Ayala doesn't want to, but I would like to be disciplined, I tell you, really, it gives you so much freedom. We think we're free when we're not disciplined. We're totally under the control of our negative emotions and our undisciplined mind. Then he wants that, then he wants that, then he wants to go there, then it's not happy. Totally under the control of that mind. We have zero freedom when we're not disciplined. Yeah. And we think of discipline as such a bad thing, it takes away my freedom. It's totally the opposite. The discipline when the mind wants something just to say, no, not now, and to continue with what you're doing now, which is meaningful. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Yeah. When you're angry, to say, okay, stop. Stop. Not having to suppress anything, you know. Always calm, always open, always exactly knowing what to do. Yeah. So the second one is discipline, or like ethical conduct, especially the discipline not to harm. Yeah. Not just the discipline kind of to do whatever we set out to do. Here is especially like ethical behavior. It's the second one. Third one, patience. Not to harm when you could harm. Yeah. Then, next.
Enthusiasm.
Enthusiasm, because the effort again is like, so is effort. Enthusiasm. Being enthusiastic for the practice. And then,
Meditation.
concentration and wisdom. And the wisdom to understand emptiness. So this text here is going through these, it's helping you or helping us, because I'm also one of them who can't do it yet, is helping us to practice, to train these 6 perfections. Yeah? Okay? So are you clear about what bodhicitta is? So the text, when you look at the text, it might sound really heavy. And as if Shantideva is saying, hey, you know, you're not allowed and you must and this and that. But don't forget, this text is an instruction or a manual for people who want to free themselves from suffering. And not just for themselves, but for the benefit of all sentient beings. That is what it's meant for. Now, if you've done for certain things, certain verses that you think, oh, that's too heavy, then that means that you don't want to attain that state. Then just take from it whatever you find meaningful and leave the rest. You know? But it's quite a serious text. Also, one mustn't forget, he speaks to himself. Because he has decided to attain enlightenment. So he wrote that text, or these methods, for him in order to be encouraged and not lose it. So the text has 10 chapters. And you have a very, very short bodhicitta prayer, which goes, may the Supreme Jewel, bodhicitta, the mind of enlightenment, the attitude wanting to attain enlightenment. Actually, instead of saying the attitude wanting to attain enlightenment, it's good to call this the attitude to be happy and everybody else that I meet also. Maybe that makes it a bit more meaningful because everybody wants that. Yeah? So, and wanting to be lastingly happy. So it has 10 chapters. So when you look at this very short prayer that one always dedicates at the end, we will do it tomorrow with the texts. May the Supreme Jewel Bodhicitta that has not arisen arise and grow. Yeah? So this is the first chapter. May it arise, and then 2 and 3. In the first chapter, may it arise. He speaks about the benefits, so that you get interested in it. Say, oh wow, yeah, this is a good thing. Yeah? Because bodhicitta finishes your suffering. So it says, for example, it is the medicine that cures everything. It is the elixir that transforms everything into gold. Because if we only there with compassion for the benefit of others, of course we will make people happy. Yeah? And maybe not immediately, maybe we will get on their nerves and things like that, but at least we will not harm them. And you, for yourself, you create positive karma because your attitude while you're doing this action is not for my benefit, but is for the benefit of others. And also your world becomes so much bigger. Your own problem becomes so much smaller. Yeah? So this is the first chapter is about the benefit, so that you're interested in wanting. It sounds as if he wants to sell something. Yeah? But as I'm saying, he's talking to himself. And if you want to go on this path of the Bodhisattva, you need to do this voluntarily, otherwise it's not going to work. And because I say, or because the Dalai Lama says, or because the Buddha says, or because Shantideva says, it's not going to work. Yeah? Because you do have to give up on a lot of things. But gradually, not all at once, so that you're not burning out. This is also, and also, before we start to develop bodhicitta, we have learned to look after ourselves. As I said, with becoming aware, my life is very precious, I have the perfect opportunity, it's not going to last. If I want to free myself from suffering, I better start doing this now, and then starting to work with our negative emotions. So when we have this ability to work with the negative emotions, then the compassion is already it's shimmering through, because compassion is always there. Yeah? But you can't start with bodhicitta. This is why I said at the beginning, the Four Noble Truths, practicing the Four Noble Truths. There is suffering, causes of suffering, cessation, and the path. This is the foundation to then build bodhicitta on. Because bodhicitta is, everybody should be free from being reborn under the control of negative karma, negative emotions. But not me, no, I'm not interested in this. But I will free everybody else. I mean, this is like everybody's in the swamp, and you say, may everybody go out, I stay here, I mean, if you don't even have interest in making yourself lastingly happy, how can you have interest in making somebody else lastingly happy? It doesn't make sense. So first you have to understand your own situation, that we are in a very, very dangerous place. Not Israel, samsara. Not now. Although we can die any moment, you don't have to come to Israel to die.